This is Emma.
And this is Talia.
And today we are going to be talking to you about an artwork in the Getty Center entitled Bestiary.
This piece is dated back to around 1270 AD and comes from current-day France.
The illustration we see here comes from a bestiary, which is a book that uses both real and imagined animals to convey some sort of moral or lesson.
Bestiaries were very popular during the 1100s and 1200s. During this period, Christianity was on the rise, and bestiaries formed as a way to explain the natural world using Christian ideas and concepts.
These stories were not necessarily factual, but rather acted as a sort of fable, which aimed to guide Christian followers in the right direction and give insight into the world as a whole and how religion plays into that.
Oftentimes, bestiaries showed animals as symbolic organisms with deeper meaning. For example, the pelican will be depicted in a bestiary not as a mere materialistic animal of the natural world, but as a symbol of Jesus because of the way in which it would use its own blood to give its newborn's life.
In this way, bestiary books would provide the message that this is God's world and that as such every living thing has a special purpose and value.
In this particular image, we see what appears to be Jesus himself as noted through the halo around his head, which was commonly used to represent divinity and holiness, and Jesus as the light of the world.
In his hand, Jesus holds a staff, possibly signifying the fact that he is a shepherd. This is a common idea throughout the Bible and the Christian faith. If Jesus is the shepherd, then does that mean the sheep in the image are symbolic of humans?
Yes, I think we can safely assume that the artist here is showing through humanity through the sheep, demonstrating the similarities between a shepherd's relationship to his herd and Jesus' relationship to humanity.
Continuing with the theme of Jesus the Good Shepherd, it is also quite possible that the man next to Jesus is St. John the Baptist, who is accredited with the Bible verse which states, "Behold the Lamb of God, which taketh away the sin of the world."
And while we don't know this for sure, it does seem plausible, given St. John the Baptist's close relationship with Jesus, as well as his ties to the theme of Jesus as a shepherd. Looking at the other animals present, we can see even more symbolism characteristic of bestiaries of the time.
For example, in the bottom left corner, we see an orange creature that appears to be a fox, a very important animal in the bestiary books. In countless bestiaries, foxes are representative of the devil. Just as a fox acts in cunning, sly ways, so too does the devil, tricking and entrapping souls.
And really there's no reason to think the symbolism is any different in this particular image. The fox is shown near the sheep, indicating the threat he poses to the unsuspecting animals, just as the devil poses a threat to humanity.
This inclusion of the fox is very representative of this period in Christianity as well, because during this time, Christians were very focused on the idea of the Last Judgment, so the inclusion of the fox could have been done as a reminder of the constant lurking presence of the devil, urging people to abide by the word of the Lord and act as good Christians in preparation for the day of judgment.
So looking at this image on a grand scale, we see just one example of the themes vital to Christianity during the time, the way in which they transmitted those ideas to the general public, and overall, a reflection of a society with roots more deeply seated in Christianity than ever before.